Hey, everybody, and welcome to Vibes. It's your girl Ivy, bringing you another week of vibes. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at VIBEZ, and then we're also on Instagram at BEZ_radio. So, welcome back, guys. I hope you all had a blessed week and your week has started off real wonderful this week. So, tonight is going to be a very wonderful show, fearfully and wonderfully made. That is a very I'm super excited to talk about tonight's show that we have going on. And also within that, just I actually was doing some research earlier and previously. I wanted to talk about some facts that I actually found in reference to um, the topic of tonight. So, can you believe that 6 out of 10 women stop doing what they love because they feel bad about their looks? And speaking on that, I can actually relate to that in so many ways. And then the other facts that I found was only 4% of women around the world consider themselves beautiful. And only 11% of girls globally are comfortable using the word beautiful to describe themselves. 72% of women or girls feel tremendously pressured to be beautiful. 80% of women agree that every woman has something about her that is beautiful, but do not see their own beauty. And lastly, more than half of the women globally agree that when it comes to how they look, they are their own worst beauty critic. That's pretty much like interesting, to be honest. And I don't mean to be stuck for a second, guys, and I actually found these facts on Dove, which is very interesting because of course, that's a product that most of us use. But these are some of the research facts that I found when it comes to beauty. And when you think about beauty, um, I've learned over the time that beauty isn't just about your image. Like you see people and what society today kind of make the image of what beauty is, but over time, beauty actually starts deep within the person or deep within yourself. So it's not just about the image that you see, but the way that society is kind of set up now. Beauty is just, once again, it's the image. So you have young women and you have women that actually, think when you think of beauty, it's like, okay, it's the way I look, and or how you look far as like your eyes, your nose, your lips, your body. And I've talked on previous shows when it comes to beauty, that's how I looked at it, because even once again, going back to when I was in school, it was more so of I looked at myself and I had low self-esteem because it's like, oh, I didn't look like other girls. I didn't have like boobs, or, I didn't have a big butt, or whatever the case may be, or my nose wasn't this way, or my eyes were this way, or I wore glasses, which I'm still wearing glasses up to today. But those are things that the way that the world has you set up is that's what beauty is. But going to I picked tonight's title of the show, Fearfully and Wonderfully Made, because we're all made in God's image, and besides what's on the outside, God built us from within. So tonight's show is going to basically be about more so beauty, the thoughts of it. And I have a special guest with me that will be joining me shortly here, and we're going to talk about her journey and talk about girl talk, guys, tonight. Just about that image of beauty and what it means to us and things like that, which, this is going to be a great topic. And I just think it will be good to kind of reach out to, that young woman or women that is struggling with, low self-esteem. And it's nothing to be ashamed of, or no longer feel, you have to be bottled up in a shell, because we're all beautiful. God made us all different for a reason. You have your own unique way of how, you are. And he made us individually different, and we're all made in his image. And that's what important, not what society have you thinking like, oh, you got to have a big booty, or you have to have big breasts, or your lips have to look this way. And that even falls back with a lot of people changing the way they look to fit in the way that society has portrayed people, how you should look, your appearance. And I just want the young lady that's watching tonight, or that woman, or even the guy, that you are once again built in God's image. And like I said, self-esteem is nothing to be ashamed of. And believe it or not, I was actually doing some more reading where they say that mostly a young woman will experience low self-esteem before adulthood. And I think that also falls back to the peer pressure of the way that society has everything set up today, what beauty means. And that's the thing tonight. And even me being a psychology student, I learned in my psychology class that low self-esteem is actually a mental, it's a thought that is a mental illness thought, because your brain is constantly triggering yourself to have these thoughts. Is you keep telling yourself, okay, I look like this, or you're finding so many things wrong with you. But tonight I want this show to bring so much to light to where you don't no longer have to look at yourself that way. You are to know that you were made in God's image. Every woman, you're beautiful. And if no one has told you that, I'm telling you that now, that you're beautiful. So sit tight. We're going to take a break. We're going to be right back, and I'm going to introduce my guest, and we're going to have a discussion. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Vibes. Good vibes all week. Once again, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook is at VIBEZ. Instagram, _BEZ_radio. All right, so welcome back to Fearfully and Wonderfully Made. I should have added in God's image, because that's going to be the focus of tonight. So joining me in the studio, I have Miss Terry. Hey girl.
Hey girl, hey.
So she's my special guest for tonight. I have her on, and we're going to get into our discussion for tonight. Okay, y'all know I'm blind. All right, so just tell us briefly about your journey.
Okay, so I was working at Macy's in Tyson's Corner, and I was really just gonna start out with my weight loss journey, but I'm like, maybe I should take it back based on what the title of this show is. And I was working at Macy's. I was working at the Lancome counter, and it was just a summer job. And I've done a summer job at Christmas during the holiday season, those kind of jobs. So hard worker, and I didn't really think too much about makeup. The way that I came up is like tomboy, did karate forever, black belt, all that kind of stuff, but makeup and beauty was not on my radar at all. So they offered me the job. I was working at fragrance, but they liked my hustle. And they was like, well, you can probably get rid of all these products based on what we've seen you do from a distance. So they ended up hiring me long term. Fast forward to me being bored at the counter and not really understand the purpose of what I was doing. So I had this lady walk up to the counter, and we had some good conversation, like older woman, maybe in her 50s or so. And she was 1 year remission from chemo. Her skin was super blotchy. It was, she felt lackluster. And, we just talked. She told me what she wanted. I did it. And looked in the mirror. We both had like a Supergirl moment, just crying. Oh, you're going to mess up my makeup, because she felt so good being able to see herself the way she was before chemo and cancer had ruined her life. Gotcha. So that basically put a whole new perspective and purpose on transformation, and beauty. And I thought for the longest time that makeup and anything that can be aesthetically pleasing to the eye, enhancement wise, was very shallow. That was my thought process until I figured out that there were people who use it in the right way. That's not really publicized often. It's just like, you know, people who want to be Instagram stars and, you know, that kind of thing.
Right.
So, fast forward, I've been doing makeup and skincare for a long time. You know, I did, with a new perspective, I did the Lancome counter. I did Dior counter. I left Macy's, went to Nordstrom's, did the Chanel counter. Stayed there for a pretty long time, but then I got introduced to a product line that helped me to leave Nordstrom's and start working for myself. But then I started thinking, like, there are a lot of talented people who work in these department stores, and they are trying to break into freelance with the same vision and perspective that I have. So that's kind of have been my mission. But then it took a whole new life into transformation. I've been struggling with weight for a long time, and that's a whole nother struggle with not feeling at your best. You know, and you know that you used to be an athlete, so you know what you're capable of, but it's just like, you know, over the years, you know, horrible relationships, and, you know, whether they're family or men, you know, horrible relationship, you can try to figure out like who you are and how to get back to the happier version of yourself. So I started to, you know, I lost some very valuable things that helped me to be successful when I was younger. So I had to rediscover those things. And then I ended up like getting focused, finding consistency, getting back into personal development, getting back into my word. You know, I realized that the devil wants you to be alone, you know. So I dived right into my network and to my friends and to my partners, and they just kind of covered me, you know, and they helped me to just keep pushing me, you know. So I went on vacation, went on a cruise at the end of February, and I came back March 6th, March 7th to March 27th. I was like, I need to just get rid of all these liquor that I was drinking. I need to get rid of all this, you know, all the bad things, and I want to focus and just run with it. So then I ended up losing like 15 pounds. And I started praying over people on Facebook, which is, it's not what I usually do.
Wow.
But it definitely created a mind shift.
Okay. So with that being said, at what point did you finally decide it was time, like, for a change to become healthier?
You know, I've always pretty much been healthy, but it was the activation part that I lacked.
Okay.
So you know, when the absolute change was when I looked in the mirror, the second to last day when I was on my vacation. I'm just like, my face looks huge. My body was so full of toxins, and you can see it. You know, you can. I don't know if everyone can do it, but if you're like in that beauty field, you can see when someone's eyes look super dark. You can see when they're sunken in. You can see when you're a lot more bloated than you should be for your actual weight and number size or whatever. So I just looked, and I don't shame myself, but I was just like, okay, I'm done. It was just a moment, a light switch, you know, and that's kind of what it comes down to. You got to get sick of yourself. And I wasn't quite comfortable. You know, I wasn't sick of myself, but I was not quite comfortable that I just kept having to find the right position for, you know, what selfie I was going to take.
Right.
So, you know, what, it just happened. It just, I don't know. I think that it took time to keep developing myself to decide I was ready. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. It's and I think this can actually translate to, I did a previous show about self-reflection and change. And like you said, that you had to make that decision where it's like enough was enough. So it's more so even transitioning into a change is more so like, okay, you actually have to realize something needs to change. You have to find that encouragement of like, you know what? I don't want to live like this anymore, or I don't want to look this way, or whatever the case may be. It's like you have to determine like, hey, I'm ready for a change. What has been your inspiration within this transition?
God.
Mm.
And it sounds super, super cliche, like God was my inspiration for some people who don't believe.
Mm.
But when you hear what your personal truth is
Mm-hmm.
and know that it's okay to be 100% authentic with who you are,
Mm.
and it's all right. You know what? I'm a big crybaby. And
Oh, nowhere. Oh my gosh. Not another show. I'm crying. I need to start bringing tissues up in here.
It's
It's
amazing when
okay.
you realize that it is okay to just be who you were called to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it I was talking to this woman at Busboys one day. I was working, sitting there drinking coffee, and she was like, "There's something about you, like you just seem so comfortable." I'm like, because I know that all of my territory is already taken care of it for me. I don't have to stress or worry. I
Mm-hmm.
have to get my daily devotion in. Remember what is for me is always going to be for me, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And there's no extra, Actually, there might be a little bit extra drive for me. I have two girls, and they look up to me. Oh my God, do they see me? Do
Oh.
they see me? Yo, I didn't even realize how much my 4-year-old pays attention, but she's always watching. Sometimes she'll tell me, "I'm watching you today." So
Oh.
like, I guess that would be an extra motivation, to do things a little bit harder. But that natural get up and go came from having daily devotionals, spending time praying, speaking over my life,
Mm.
and it may sound weird to some people who don't say positive things even about themselves,
Mm.
but I do.
Absolutely.
So,
And sorry guys, Jesus, is pollen that the weather is finally broke and the pollen is like bothering me. But speaking on um being around a great support system, or being around not even a great support, just putting yourself around positive people.
mm-hmm,
And I am a true believer of speaking things in existence.
mm-hmm,
If you constantly tell yourself or beat yourself up and down yourself, it's like, okay, 9 out of 10, that's what's going to happen. If you doubt yourself or don't have belief in yourself or belief in God, that's what's going to happen.
yeah,
If you constantly tell yourself, like, feed yourself positive things, put yourself around people that's encouraging and that is going to pray with you,
mm-hmm,
not have you pray. If you call them and you're talking to them, venting to them about something, not someone's like, oh, you're going to be all right. No, you need a support system or those people around you. That's like she said, she had her partners that covered her. And that's what it's about, covering each other, praying for each other,
mm-hmm,
helping each other, encouraging each other,
yeah,
being there for each other. And I feel like each day, ladies, and not just the ladies, even guys, which I know ladies going to do it more than the guys, but it's more so when you wake up in the morning, you say your daily prayer, you read your word, you talk to God like how me and you are sitting here just having a conversation.
yep,
And every day I started writing things down on notepad. So if you go to my house, I'm gonna turn my, not the copy of War Room, but I've turned my closet into an actual war room. I have encouraging words posted throughout my bathroom. Like when I get up in the morning, I'll brush my teeth. It's things there, different scriptures, different, inspirational quotes that's very encouraging to help you. You have to constantly feed yourself. You can go to church to hear the word. You can go to church and hear the word, and time you leave church, some people gonna forgot what they heard. You know what I mean? Or they don't even touch their Bibles anymore once they leave church. So it's more so about receiving the word, but you have to constantly feed your spirit. Like that's what the Bible is. The Bible is our spiritual food. Like our bodies needs that nutrients. Like everybody's so quick to go out to eat or, go grab fast food for lunch and stuff. And even now I started like on my lunch break, which I have a special gift for you that I'm starting to use. Is a devotional book, and every day I'm reading, I'm writing stuff down, I'm trying to translate it, and then sometimes with my girlfriends we'll sit and we'll have a conversation. Instead of most females gossiping, we'll have a conversation about what my scripture, what I wrote down, and what does it mean to her, what does it mean to me, what is God, things like that. So it's always encouraging yourself and believing in yourself, because I think that's what a lot of, especially women, a lot of us don't believe in ourselves. A lot of us don't love ourselves enough to be like, okay, to understand things. And then when you said that you have two daughters, it's like, oh my gosh, being a woman and having 2 daughters and the way that society is set up, it's like, oh my God, you know what I mean?
You have to do some constant deprogramming.
Absolutely.
And touching on what you said with the, having devotionals, I feel like if you take the time out in the morning, I do it way before my family wakes up. Like I'm up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, but if you take the time out in the morning and you fill yourself first with, whatever word that's going to fill you up and you can take that with you. It's like, you think of it like a sponge. And the whatever is in there the deepest will stay in there the longest. So I'm sorry, like, if you are soaking up all these negative things, all these negative images, are trying to fight back through whatever warfare is going on throughout the day.
Absolutely.
And also still trying to encourage someone else, because you have no idea what type of word that you can speak that will speak a life or a word over someone else. So it's super, super important to put that word in you so deep, the first thing when you wake up, so that you can be of service to somebody else. I want to be a vessel to where my cup overflows.
Absolutely.
And in order for that to happen, I have to give to myself. It has to be something in that cup. So I mean,
and that's the another thing you have. And people, you have to be careful who you allow to pray over you, because everyone that prays over you are not always praying good over you, to be honest. So you have to be careful who you confide in, who you allow to pray over you, and you have to be right. Like, you have to get your house in order first before you can go and start praying over someone else. And I'm a strong believer on that, because if you have a lot of mess going on with you, sometimes you have to just be together yourself. But like you said, you have to be together first so you can pray for your family and stand as that vessel for your family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even to touch who God has placed in your path for you to touch.
Yeah.
And once you have that faith with God, God will continue to put in you what he needs to come out of you. All of us have it in us. It's just that matter of time of him pulling it out of us, or us actually finding what's in us that, he has called us to do. With that being said as well, what type of obstacles have you dealt with within this life transition of yours?
A lot of doubt, a lot of doubt is probably the biggest one. Not necessarily. Okay, so doubt. I was going to say not necessarily fear, but I've been in a place where fear had paralyzed me to even move at all. So not necessarily move physically, but like if it's just a follow-up phone call, if it's a, let me get off the couch, let me, I don't know, like fear can stop you from doing a lot. It's just those voices that tells you like, you don't necessarily need that. I mean, you good as is, or
right,
or whatever. But fear stopped me. Doubt definitely stopped me. Those voices that tell you that it's probably not meant for you. It's maybe it was somebody else's thought process, but it was definitely mine. And doubt took me almost a solid 2 years to get over, because the mind is a powerful thing. I can't even really put it into words, but if I doubted, which I did, I doubted what visions God gave me, what phenomenal ideas that I would think that they're great, but then I'm relying on someone else who's in my close proximity to give me the okay that these things are valid, and then they don't see the vision that God gave me because they didn't give it to them. So I'm looking like, well, you don't see it. Maybe it's not good enough. Maybe it's not valid enough. So, it was really just trying to overcome approval of others.
So the approval of others, which is not needed.
Yes.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to finish our discussion. We'll be right back to more vibes right after this. I, I can't help it. Oh my gosh, I love it. 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 I love to see the different artists that is preaching the word. And it ain't even about like you guys look at the video and you're like, oh my God, what's going on? It's about the message of the video. Even my top one tonight was the Concrete Grows. If you listen to the words of the song, that it says it all. We're made in God's image, especially ladies. You have to know this. Once again, you are beautiful. If no one has told you today that they love you, I love you. Terry loves you. We love you guys. Like, we have to, as women, we have to start building each other. We have to start encouraging each other more.
Absolutely.
You know, if you see, I'm going to give you a challenge real quick, then we'll get back to our discussion. So, ladies, if you see a young lady tomorrow or a woman, tell her she's beautiful. She may not understand why you're doing it, but tell her she's beautiful. Tell yourself that you're beautiful. When you wake up in the morning, that's the first woman you see. Tell yourself that you are beautiful and that you are made in God's image. You're not too big. You're not ugly. Just because you may not be blessed with the biggest butt in the world or have boobs, it's okay. You're still beautiful. I love you. Ivy loves you. I just want to tell you that. Tell yourself you love you. And that's where it starts. And it's more so of, you can't expect a man to love you until you start loving yourself. It's kind of strange if your boyfriend telling you all the time he loves you, or your husband or your fiance, but you don't love you, or you call yourself loving him. How can you love him but you don't love you? So once again, ladies, you have to get you together. Focus on you. Date yourself. Take yourself out on a date. Get to know you.
Girl.
And start loving yourself. Start encouraging yourself, to be honest. So I know we left off with what has been your motivation and your struggles.
Mm-hmm.
So since we're talking about beauty, what does beauty mean to you?
You know, I find it so attractive on men and women when you are able to be authentic. I've like trying to find who you are, you know, that whole struggle, that walk, you know, once you get to the end of it and you're just like, dang, I'm pretty dope, you know?
Right.
I mean, I find that incredibly attractive on men and women, because with women, you know, we can just really sit and not compete with each other. You know, we can sit and really hold our own, whether it's in a conversation with one or two people, or just be in a crowded, you know, place and then just feel solid, you know? But, you know, and then with men, like as women, with men, we could just be like, you know, I know what I have to offer. I know how valuable I am. I think that is the most beautiful thing ever. You know, contour, lips, eyes, cool. That's great, you know, but you got to take your makeup off at the end of the day.
And speaking, and ladies, I know like right now, you know, whatever the case may be, but if you follow my personal Facebook and Instagram, I don't always do this, but understand that makeup is an enhancer. It doesn't define who you are. Your makeup is not you, because like she said, at the end of the night, you can meet him and you have all this makeup on. Like you said, it comes off. And to me, this is like, it's an enhancer. So to me, this isn't you. Like, this isn't me. It's beyond what you see. So when I speak on beauty, to me, beauty is what's on the inside.
Yeah.
Because you can be a very attractive person, but have a messed up attitude. Or you could just be a nasty person. Like, your vibes can just be, Like, which I'm not like that anymore. If I run across somebody that has bad vibes, I'm going to pray for you. Even though I may not be, I'm going to pray for you from a distance, because that's some stuff that's going on the inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
So beauty isn't defined on a person's appearance. It's defined on what's inside of the person, because you can have the most not attractive person, and to me, they're still beautiful because they're the most vibrant person, down to earth, most beautiful person. So the understanding that I want everyone that's watching the show tonight to understand, when you look in the mirror, and I said this on a previous show, you see yourself, but look deep within yourself. And that's when it starts, is what's inside of you, building you up, building you up to know that, like she said, you're dope. I love that. I love it. Like, you're dope. Like, tell yourself you're beautiful, you're dope, you're strong, just build yourself up. You're worthy. And it all falls back once again, self-worth.
Yeah.
Self-worth. And even on the previous shows, I gotta shout her out again this week. Crystal, I love you, babe. I love you. I love you. I love you. Yes, I love you.
I love you too, Chris.
Shout out to Crystal with the Guard Your Heart Project. Guys, I'm telling you, check her out. Her blog every week. Her blog, like, I love this girl to death. It's just a blessing that I met her, that we've stayed connected, and she's an awesome person. Mm-hmm. And her blogs, it talks about it. Like, it talks about self-infliction. And these are things that we as humans have to deal with, these things, in order to build us up. And once again, as Terry mentioned, you have to start and find your destined place. And to me, it's not about where you are now, is where you're going. And it's not about your destiny, it's about your destination, because it's, at the end of the day, it's where you're going to wind up going. And I don't mean to, once again, I tell y'all, I don't mean to get Christian on y'all, but one day we all have to answer to God. Like, we have to answer to him. So you have to get you together at the end of the day and start loving you. Get in your word. I'm telling you, get in your word. When you're going through something and you're lost, honestly, I'm going to tell y'all this. When I started reading my Bible and started praying, I didn't know how to pray at first. Like, honestly, I was afraid to pray because I thought it was a right way and a wrong way to pray, until I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to talk to God. Like, I'm sitting here having a conversation with you. Mm-hmm. And I started talking to him just like I'm talking to you guys. I started talking to him. And then he's like, Shamika, that's all he wants. It's no right way to pray. Mm-hmm. He wants you to acknowledge him and come to him. Just like how you can call your mom or your family members or your friends to talk to him about stuff. He wants you to come to him and confide in him. So just having a conversation like this, it's good enough for him. It's no way, a right way or wrong way to pray. As long as you acknowledge him and talk to him, that's having that relationship with him. And then as you start reading your word, things will start flowing on your heart for him to, it's like he teaches you. You're his baby. Yeah. So he's going to teach you. And, it was for a long time I battled with that, because it's like, oh, someone asked me to pray or, say grace or do this. I'm like, I don't want to do it because it's no right way. I don't want to say it because I thought it was a wrong way or right way, but it's not. And I'm learning that. But at the end of the day, God loves us. We're made in his image. He made us to perfection. We may not feel like we're perfect. Mm-hmm. No one's perfect, but he made us in his image of him for us to do this walk and be a reflection of him.
You just said that God made us, in his image, an image of perfection. Mm-hmm. And, we may doubt that. But I feel like when you're looking for your purpose here, and you lean on God, and you listen to God, because God gives everybody a still small voice.
Yes.
But you lean and you listen. That perfection that God gave you is where you find your swag.
Find your swag. I like it. Different terms of swag, kids, but love it.
That perfection is where you get really, really comfortable with who you are, because you start realizing that, you don't have to emulate somebody else. One of my close girlfriends, and I feel like she's close to me, but we haven't officially met.
Wow.
She's like a friend in my head, like that Winnie Williams saying. Yeah. So she we was having a team call, and she was saying that all these self-help books that we go out and buy, they're cool. They're fine and all. But real life, they're just doing a regurgitated version of the Bible. You know, all that stuff that you're looking for, it's already written. Your life already written. All you have to do is be comfortable and have the faith. It's hard to have faith sometimes, you know, but it's only hard if you don't trust and you don't believe in what is already destined for you. You know, but like that's all that stuff leads all the way up to transformation. You turn into who you are supposed to be. You know, and it's a wonderful thing.
It is. And like I tell all my friends, like what you see with me, this is what you get. Like I don't want people to, I mean, I haven't always been on this walk with God, but I'm telling you, once I've opened up and really put everything, being consistent, reading the word and things of that sort, it was more so of, you know, just getting in the word. And he's real. Like I'm telling you, once you fully turn your life over to him, he's real. And he's awesome. He's awesome. So I know our time is winding down. No, I don't want to go.
It's been fun.
It has been. So, but before, where you want to give your babies a shout out?
Yes, Cece, mommy loves you. Aww. And Maya, I know you don't understand anything I'm saying, but I love you. Love you.
That's so cute. The kitties. Oh, Jackson, Zay, love you guys. Since we're shouting out the kids, where can people find you? Like
people can find me on most of all the handles, like, you know, Periscope, and I was scoping just a minute ago and it just died.
Facebook wasn't working tonight.
Facebook was not working. It was trying to kill our vibes.
But the devil is a lie.
Periscope, Twitter, Instagram, all of them the same. It's just Terry. You know,
love it.
It's
authentic.
Just Terry, that's all it is.
Love
you
it.
know. And then on Facebook, it's Terry Motley. You can find me in the one with the dreads, you know, or the faux logs.
We still have a few moments. What right now to the young woman, or the woman that's watching, the young woman or woman that's watching, what would you say to them right now, in just a few words, that's struggling with self-change?
It's temporary. I feel like if you put it in perspective, you know, everything that you might be going, just temporary. You know, we're always changing, even as adults, you know, always changing. We have to reinvent ourselves. We have to become someone different, someone new, someone appealing, someone attractive. We have to be all of these things, but as long as we are doing it to what is honest, honesty is a big one. If we just keep doing it to what is honest, to who we truly are, then you can get through anything, you know?
So as she said, ladies, be yourself. You don't have to please anybody. Like, it's no competition out here. My competition is myself, bettering myself every day, becoming more efficient in my walk with God.
Exactly.
Because when we all leave this earth, this worldly, and we have the answer to him, and I want to be right with him. So once again, stop doubting yourself. First off, stop doubting yourself. Once again, the first woman you see tomorrow morning, you tell her she's beautiful, and that should be yourself. You are beautiful.
And hold up, it's super easy. Just say so. Like, I don't know how to do that. It's super easy. Hey girl, I like your shoes. Your hair looks cute. Oh my God, where'd you get your nails done? It's super easy. Just give a compliment, you know?
And it's not, and I don't want you to think that you're crazy either if you compliment yourself or you're telling yourself, because I mean, we do it anyway. When you get up in the morning, get ready for work, you about to go out with the girls, whatever. We do it already. So why not constantly tell yourself that, but drill it in you enough that you believe it? Because you can say it but not mean it, but you have to mean it, ladies. You have to start building yourself up. And ladies, let's start encouraging each other. Once again, like, let's stop turning each other. Let's start encouraging each other. Seriously. Like, let's do it. We need to. We have to become more of a union and work together to help each other, especially with the new generations. I'm not going to keep y'all any longer because the show is running down. I hate to leave you guys. But once again, don't forget to tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. right here on WTTSradio.com. Don't forget to follow Vibes on VIBEZ on Facebook. We're also on Instagram at @BEZ_radio. Oh, one more time. I got a few moments. Listen, so if you are upcoming artists, porch, anything that you do, Brandon wants to get yourself out there, hit me up. Send me an email at vbezradio@gmail.com. Serious inquiries only. Would love to have you on the show. Get your story out there, your book, whatever you're doing, hit me up. Would love to have you on the show. Once again, tune in right here. Vibes every Tuesday at 8 p.m. right here on WTTSradio.com. And once again, I love you guys. Many blessings. Have a blessed week. And I will see you guys right back here next Tuesday.